And we back.
Yeah, good afternoon, everybody.
We got a very special podcast today. Very special. We got a lot of shit to talk about.
Even more special than last time, which
we just keep getting better.
Yeah,
you know?
I know you might find that hard to believe.
Yeah, that's the most important part, though. All right, so
let's get down to the nitty gritty.
Let's jump into it.
Let's not be shy like we were last time. So, I have a quote. Believe it or not, I did my homework. You know, I don't need to tell you when I did it. It may have been 15 minutes ago.
It might have been 15 days ago.
I got it done.
That's the most important part.
So, Blaise Pascal, renowned philosopher and mathematician, once said, "All of humanity's problems stem from man's inability to sit quietly in a room alone." Dan, your thoughts?
That's a tough one. You know, I've had some time to think on it, and it's interesting because I feel like people aren't. What he was trying to get at is that people aren't able to do any sort of form of positive self-reflection. You know, they're not able to look back at what they've done right, what they've done wrong. For most people, they might even focus on what they've done wrong too much, or focus on what they've done right too much, or not even know the difference between the two. So I think what he's trying to get at is that you have to be able to sit by yourself in your own thoughts, and that people are scared of that. That's like one of the toughest places to be, for sure. Especially when things are not going right for you.
Yeah, I do like where you went with that. I personally feel that that he's referring to meditation, and how meditation has many benefits. You know, it's often touted as a way to improve your own discipline, which I think a lot of us could use. So anyway, that's where I felt he was going with that.
Yeah.
So
I mean, what I was explaining is a form of meditation, you know. Not necessarily like sitting cross-legged with your hands or your palms faced up and your eyes closed and like incense burning. But it's a meditation in a way that it shows you're able to calm your mind. You know.
Fair enough.
I took a meditation class once upon a time. I did. I'm not even joking.
That's something I didn't know. All right, let's move along. I really feel like we covered that pretty well.
Yeah. Gist of that is to meditate, folks.
Absolutely.
Meditate.
Could not agree more. So I think we'd like to begin with a congratulations to LeBron James
and the Cleveland Cavaliers, but most importantly to LeBron James.
I mean, was anyone else even really playing?
Yeah, I didn't. You know, he played out of his mind.
Yeah,
it's crazy to think that like he definitely proved what everybody thought he would never do, which is bring a title to Cleveland.
And it's amazing because how many other players with that motley crew of his team could have still brought the championship home. I mean, they were playing the team with the best regular season record. Emphasis on the regular season record there.
Yeah, you know, I saw an interesting statistic that the Warriors lost as many games during the playoffs as they did the entire season.
I think part
incredible.
of that is the fact that all the Warriors starters were playing a lot more minutes in the playoffs than they were in the regular season. Think about how many games they won, you know, just blowouts.
Yeah.
So
yeah, at one point I think like halfway through the season, like Steph Curry had only played in like less than 10 fourth quarters or something.
That's right. Yeah, something ridiculous like that.
But yeah, it's still a great accomplishment for the Warriors, but if you don't bring home the trophy,
I mean, I think Michael Jordan has nothing to cry about right now. Put it that way.
Yeah, well, you know, those Jordan memes
questionable.
Those they're still gonna be lit.
I think my favorite meme was the one of Curry when he was going up for a layup and he had the NBA Finals trophy in his hand and it was the picture of LeBron LeBron blocking it. I enjoyed that quite a bit.
Yeah, if you pay attention to rap at all, Schoolboy Q, of course.
Of course.
He's got a new album coming out, but he trolled everyone on Twitter by like releasing a fake cover that was like the Michael Jordan crying face, and it was like, everybody thought that was going to be the album, but it turns out he's just trolling everybody. So good on him for that.
Yeah. By the way, Schoolboy Q, great follow on Snapchat. Very entertaining.
Oh, you follow him?
Oh, absolutely.
I do not, but I heard it's pretty interesting.
Yeah, you should give it a look. I recommend it.
All right.
So anyway, as we were saying, LeBron, again, congratulations. Very entertaining to watch. He really put the whole city on his shoulders.
Yeah, those that block at the end, probably the greatest feat of athleticism anybody's ever seen.
Yeah, there's you have Michael Jordan's free throw line dunk,
or the up and under layup he had.
The up and under layup from Jordan, and LeBron's block.
Yeah.
All spoken about in the same conversation now.
I think one thing that I wanted to add is is J.R. Smith at the beginning of the fourth quarter. He came out and hit 3 threes, 3 out of 4 threes or something. Just
to me, that was very important because it looked like the Warriors were about to pull away, because they can really do that to you. They can destroy you mentally.
Yeah.
They hit a couple threes. They were up 7.
Yeah.
And then J.R. Smith just kind of said, "Not today."
Yeah.
They were bad shots. They were not smart basketball shots.
But
they went in.
They went in, and that's all that matters. That's all anybody remembers.
If the shot goes in, it's a good shot.
Yeah.
Right?
And Kyrie also played out of his mind. Little disappointed with Kevin Love's
Let's
performance.
not even bring up Kevin Love. He's like that.
Hey, he had some rebounds. He had some very
fighting
important offensive rebounds.
He almost looked like the Timberwolves version of K-Love, which is I think the one that everyone wants.
30 points, 30 rebounds every night. Yeah. But I think it's definitely. I don't think anybody thought that the Cavaliers were going to win this.
No.
Like, even from the beginning when they were down, 2-0, and then they were down 3-1, everybody counted them out.
Well, historically, it hadn't been done.
Yeah.
They are the
first team to ever
They are the
do
Boston Red Sox of the of the NBA.
Yeah. Well, Boston was down 3-0. I think that's a little harder to come back from.
Yeah, the moral of the story, Boston is
I guess they
more
had to
impressive.
They had to win 4 in a row instead of 3 in a row.
So, that being said, take nothing away from Cleveland. That's an incredible feat.
Yeah. But, which leads into our next segue. I would say we should probably step into the world of conspiracy theories.
Yeah, so when you Google conspiracy theories, there are more results for the NBA than any other. I don't remember the numbers on that, but then there's more results than the MLB, the NFL. For whatever reason, the NBA just has a sketchiness about it.
Which, some people might like. Everybody likes to think that LeBron, especially in this final series, that it was rigged in some way. They call him too many fouls on Steph Curry. Even his wife, Aisha, or whatever, who's just for some reason is a famous person.
She actually has a little cooking show online.
But would she have that by herself? Not so sure.
Have you tried her recipes?
I haven't. I actually didn't know she was a cook.
Me neither. Please let us try that. Please try that and let us know. Thanks.
Yeah. But
yeah. So I think I'd like to start with the older and then move to the newer. So, one of the bigger ones that, ironically, a lot of these happened under David Stern. So take that for what it's worth.
Yeah, he's not as criticized as Roger Goodell, but probably just as sketchy, as big of a skis ball as he
maybe
is.
More. So the first one was one that really drew people's attention was so I guess what draft was that when Ewing was drafted? I don't remember.
I'll do a quick fact check on that.
Thanks for
I'm
that.
gonna say it's the probably mid to late 80s, because he was at Georgetown, and then
Anyway, the Knicks were sucking at this time. They were just terrible, and that's obviously one of the biggest markets for a franchise. So allegedly, he rigged the lottery to make sure that New York would have the number 1 overall pick and be able to draft Patrick Ewing. And then obviously they ended up with John Starks. They ended up with a team after that. You know, they built a team around Ewing. So was that lottery actually fair? No one really knows. What did you find, Daniel?
1985.
Okay. Yeah, mid-'80s. He was right on the money there. So it all, at the heart of practically all of these conspiracy theories is money. So it wasn't good for the league to have one of their biggest money franchises struggling. So that's why people think that they chose to bring Ewing to New York, that it was already decided.
And quickly add this, is that the 1985 draft was the first time that there was like a lottery, basically, that the winner of a coin toss between the two worst winning percentages of the teams were it was like a coin toss between who would get the first pick. So it was like a pseudo lottery, but I don't think the lottery started that year. I think it started. I want to say it started later.
My mistake, but still, that's interesting. So why was it that in 1985 they chose to start that?
Yeah, I don't know.
Little sketchy. Another interesting one is when Jordan retired and went to go play baseball for 3 years?
It was from 90 to 93, right?
Yeah, so
90 to like 92.
2 seasons.
Because I know he won his first championship in 93, right?
Right.
But yeah, that's a interesting one.
So did he really want to retire, or was he forced to?
Yeah. So how old was he at the time? He must have been. He came out of college in the 1986 draft.
I'm fact checking right now.
Yeah, when we check on that. But so he had to be like 26, 27.
Okay, hold on. So he was 30 when he retired.
30.
The first time retired in quotations there.
And that was 92 or 93.
He had already, but he'd already won 3 titles at that point.
Oh, right. It was after the first three-peat, right? Is that right?
Yeah, no, you were a little early. So he 91, he won in 91, 92, 93.
And then he retired for some odd reason
to pursue a career in baseball. And he finally came back to the Bulls in 95.
And then won 3 more.
3 more consecutive championships.
Yep.
And then don't forget that was the 72 win season.
Was 98, right?
95.
95, 96.
So obviously he's at his peak. You just win 3 championships with the Bulls, and then
he was 30 at that time.
Yeah, and you're just this ultra competitive. He's known for being ultra competitive, and he just hangs up his Jordans and puts on Chuck Taylors. Doesn't
or spikes. I don't know.
It doesn't make sense to me. So
yeah, it's just interesting because he's obviously known for being really competitive, especially now because he's like a huge gambler, and why would he doesn't seem like he would be the type person to just have a 3-peat and then call it quits. Like he doesn't, he'd want to keep going.
Play until his body falls apart.
Yeah.
And so he's got issues with gambling now. So
imagine what it must have been back then.
Yeah.
But a lot of people think it's linked to the tragic death of his father, because his dad was murdered in somewhere in the South. I forget, maybe Georgia or North Carolina or something. But because remember he was murdered in his car, and then he the police found his car, but he wasn't in it.
Suspicious circumstances.
And then he was found like washed up on a river somewhere. His body was, and a lot of people think it's it's linked to Michael Jordan and his dad, who apparently was also an avid gambler, gambling, and they sort of might have owed somebody money. Who knows what happened? And the people went after him, and
yeah, we'll probably
the rest is history.
We'll probably never know. But,
yeah.
So that's another interesting one. More recently, 2008, I think we said it was so Tim Donaghy, very Irish-sounding name. He was actually indicted for feeding information to gamblers about the results of basketball games, which obviously there's been issues like in there was an interesting 30 for 30 about the Big East, I think, with point shaving. I don't know if you caught that one, but basketball, it's easy. Maybe it's easier than in other sports, but basketball can be very easy for your star player to just throw off his shot a little bit, or do point shaving.
Yeah, but maybe this was out of the players. I don't think this had.
No, this was the officiating was very suspect. But I'm saying that basketball is very easy to
throw the game.
Yeah.
But not make it look like you did, right? So, but I guess he wanted to affect the game in ways of officiating.
Exactly.
Okay. Yeah, I remember this, but yeah. So he went to jail eventually, though, right?
He did. But what was interesting was when he realized he was completely fucked, he started trying to throw the NBA under the bus and saying that he was instructed, and that he and the other officials were instructed to rig games.
Yeah.
Which is kind of interesting. But there's during a lot of finals, there's been some suspect calls where one team shoots an absurd amount of free throws compared to the other.
Yeah.
So it's interesting.
It's hard to say, like, was that a bad call because it was a bad call, or is that a bad call?
Human error.
Because, human error, or is it, it's hard to say because there may be a string of bad calls, and it's just a string of bad calls that has nothing to do with the refs trying to throw the game.
Or maybe he fought with his wife.
Yeah.
The night before, you don't know.
It's hard to say, but it's also really easy to say, like, oh, they were all these bad calls because the refs were trying to throw the game. It's easy to say that, but you can't really have any evidence unless you have like a phone call or something that the ref took before the game saying something. But yeah, that's a tough line to walk, for sure.
And I think speaking of officiating and everything else, and I think that really brings us to the Warriors, to present day. So Draymond Green.
There's a few bad calls in this series.
Let's. I don't even know where to start.
I wouldn't say bad. I would say interesting.
Yeah, sure.
It's just like it makes you, scratch your head a little bit.
I don't think you should take anything away from LeBron.
Yeah.
He had an incredible season. Yeah. Take anything away from the Warriors, they had an incredible season. But the timing of certain calls is interesting. It's.
Well, like the one example I can think of is was it game? Which game did Curry foul out of? Is that
6? Wasn't it?
No, it wasn't
5?
6.
No, 5. Draymond was suspended. I thought it was 6. Curry fouled out. It was 6.
Yeah, 6.
Yeah.
You're right. Because it was in Cleveland. He threw his mouth guard. But it's interesting because, like, obviously everybody wants it to go to 7. Everybody wanted it to go 7, and but it's there were some interesting things that happened that sort of pushed that along that can be questioned, but that's just being a conspiracy theorist that we are. But he fouled out, and I think that sort of like hurt his rhythm. He never really had a rhythm throughout the series. But
what was interesting to me, not even before the Curry thing, is so Draymond commits the same foul against the Thunder, doesn't get suspended.
Which one? The kicking the balls?
Yeah, the ball kicking.
Well, he gets fined, right?
He got
fined for whatever, 25.
But he basically does the same thing and gets suspended. Plus, that was a game where where the Cavs could have or the Warriors could have sealed the deal. But
That was game
5.
5.
But Draymond.
It ended up being a little bit of a blowout, didn't it?
Yeah, but Draymond. I mean, look at what Draymond did in Game 7.
Yeah, it's true.
He's very valuable to that team.
Yeah.
So.
But yeah, it's and also I want to point out the Steph Curry mouth guard throwing. It's interesting because nobody's really talking about it. But that he was fined for it.
Right.
But imagine if Draymond had thrown his mouth guard. I don't know if Draymond wears a mouth guard, but if he had thrown his mouth guard, I'm not sure he's playing in Game 7. I'm not even sure he's in the building.
Frankly, I don't think the NBA would have suspended anyone for that Game 7.
I don't know.
Not for that. Maybe if Draymond throws a punch, maybe. But
nah, I don't. He hit a fan. I think that's just as It's just as
one
bad
thing
as
if you
throwing a
punch a fan, a la Ron Artest. But hitting it, is this dude suffering any injury from the mouth guard?
I mean,
No.
it's not about injury.
Is it
though.
disgusting? Yes. Is it unprofessional? Yes.
It's unsanitary too.
Yeah, disgusting. I think I covered that under disgusting.
But my point is that if it's anybody else, if it's not LeBron and it's not Steph Curry, the league's taking a second look at it.
It pays.
Besides the fine,
It pays for
and
the
they're
league
saying
to have their best players on the court.
right. But I'm saying, it's undeniable that maybe Draymond might have not been playing Game 7 if he
I
threw
agree.
that mouth
No,
guard.
there's a double standard out
Yeah,
there. I see.
but it's all about views. Shout out Drake. But no, I also read. Speaking of views, not Drake, but the Game 7 was the highest watched or most watched Game 7 of all time, or something.
That doesn't surprise me.
Or NBA Finals game of all time, or something.
And that's exactly what the league wanted.
Yep. Made off with a killing again.
But anyway, we'll leave it at that. I think the horse is dead at this point. So I don't know if any of you have been watching the European Championship or Copa America, but there's been some issues with the fans. So basically, Russia was told, "Don't come back." There were some Russians beating the hell out of some British fans.
Yeah, that was the first game, and then there were some riots in the street, smoke bombs thrown, a couple people arrested. It's all just anarchy over there.
Anarchy. What is it about soccer?
Yeah, I mean, this is a hard topic for Americans to understand. But it's the amount of passion that goes into soccer
No, it's incredible.
over there is it's different, and I would say it's even more than some sports here.
Definitely, no, I'd agree with that.
But I think
It's singular, it's like a.
yeah, it's the lifeblood. But actually, I think Russia is not going to advance. So, because they lost to Wales today, 3-0. But yeah, they had some problems with the English. They said at one point FIFA said that if those fans keep fighting or whatever, Russia keeps causing problems, that they'd throw the team out of the tournament. Imagine if that happened. That'd be crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I think Russia had to, or not. I think UEFA had to come down hard on them, and just say, hey, listen, we're not going to put up with this bullshit. Like, you can't, it's about the players on the field. It's not about you guys,
Yeah.
winning in the stands.
It's just a full-out brawl up in the stands when the Russians are playing.
And did you happen to watch Croatia and the Czech Republic?
Was that when they threw the smoke bombs on the field?
Yeah, so they threw flares
Or flares.
on the field, and then when the stewards, they kept calling them whatever that means, the managers, I don't know.
Stewards?
Yeah, they kept calling them stewards, but they're British, so they've got weird names for things.
Everything's
When
backwards over
they
there.
went to go pick up the flares, and then the fans started throwing like these little fireworks, and one of them exploded right in this dude's face.
Yeah. Well, I think it hit him and then it exploded, like after it hit the ground.
I mean, yeah, it
I'm not so
exploded
sure.
pretty much right in his face. Like we can pull up the video right now.
He's pretty much dead. But yeah, there's they got a. I don't think flares were allowed at the Euros.
Flares shouldn't be allowed anywhere.
I'm not sure they're allowed anywhere, to be honest. But I know that they're used throughout European soccer leagues. Whenever somebody scores a goal, set one of those motherfuckers off.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that. I mean, well, everything's wrong with that. Excuse me, sorry.
Yeah.
But it was the Croatian fans, and it was weird that they chose to do that because Croatia was actually winning at the time. So I don't know why you want to disrupt the game. And I get maybe partially because of the disruptions, the Czech Republic ended up coming back and tying that game 2-2. So Croatia was up 2-0.
Yeah.
When that happened. So I don't get it. But apparently Croatia's fans actually didn't want them to be successful for whatever reason.
That's interesting. I don't know why that would be.
I was watching the panel after the game. They were disgusted with the actions, but yeah, apparently.
Yeah.
Yeah, apparently Croatia does not want a successful team for whatever reason. I don't know why. They've got their own motivations.
Some weird divisive things going on in that country.
No doubt.
But
it's Eastern Europe.
Yeah. But I think it's this is all just a precursor to what the fuck will happen at the Olympics. The Olympics, I'm scared for the Olympics. Like, it's funny to joke about it, but in all seriousness, it's gonna be like World War III down there.
It's quite possible.
I mean, I just read today this. I think I don't want to say she was an American biker, but cyclist, excuse me. But she.
They prefer cyclists.
Yeah, she was. Stop.
So I just had to hear that get pumped up real quick.
But she was pushed off her bike in Rio,
Right.
And then the dude just stole her bike. So who knows what the hell is gonna happen there?
What if that happened during a gold medal race?
Yeah. But and also they should. I think ISIS came out recently and said that that they're going to target the Rio Olympics, which is not really surprising, I guess. But yeah, they got a lot of things to worry about down there, especially Zika, babies with tiny heads and shit.
Yeah.
It's not going to be good.
That's Daniel actually, possibly had a run-in with Zika.
No, I didn't. I didn't. Don't. Why would you tell me that? I had no problems. He's only saying that because I recently got back from South America, but I was in a place where Zika is not prevalent. I don't think there's been any active cases in Peru, but
anyway,
yeah.
we have a GoFundMe set up for Daniel's cures.
We shouldn't probably not joke about that because people are actually very affected by that. Anyways, we're just gonna gloss over that one. So yeah, what else we got on here? Oh, we wanted to talk about Baltimore, the conspiracy, but I think we kind of killed the conspiracy theories.
Well,
today.
no, I wanted to hear Daniel talk about Baltimore. Those are his boys.
That's my.
So
that's my team.
let's bring that.
Baltimore Ravens.
Let's
Another
bring that back around.
possible conspiracy theory was the 2012 season Super Bowl. It was February 2013 when this took place in New Orleans, Mercedes-Benz Superdome, between the Baltimore Ravens and the San Francisco 49ers. Excuse me, wrong sport. And Ravens were up 28-6 at the 11-minute mark, I think, of the third quarter.
Yeah, I mean,
And they're about to run
it's a
away
blowout,
with it. Basically a blowout. And some people want to say that Roger Goodell, being the evil incarnate that he is, he decided to say something, and somebody cut out the lights. The lights were actually out for 34 minutes, which, I mean, it kind of seems insignificant, but
it's a pure momentum killer.
Yeah, it kills the momentum. Your legs might go cold, your muscles like slow down and whatnot, and it's hard to stay focused, and especially during something stressful and I don't know, as the Super Bowl. But then the 49ers came back 28-23, basically almost came back to tie the game, but the Ravens eventually went on to win. I forget what the score was. Irrelevant, but we still won. But just another point of Roger Goodell's and major sports in America's conspiracy possibilities.
Yeah.
Don't believe everything you hear on the radio type deals. The mic probably picked that up, so.
Anyway, sorry, Mom.
Yeah.
I think we'll close with our fitness advice for the day.
Yeah, Michael's our fitness guru on this show. So
pull your chairs up.
Yeah.
So
turn your radios up, turn your TVs up.
Probably the single most. Yeah, I would say the single most important thing for your squat is flexibility. Flexibility in your hips and your hamstrings, in your glutes, and your quads. One easy way to improve this, something you can do easy day, it only takes about 3 minutes a day, is to get into the third world squat position. Horrible name. If you guys come up with a better name, let us know, because I think it could be offensive to some people. But essentially, what it is.
I'm sure that it is.
What it is you balance yourself in a squat. Make sure your heels are on the ground, and try and put your ass to the grass, as they say. And you want to hold that for 3 minutes. And what that'll do is that'll get your body used to being in that position. You'll get comfortable in that position. You'll be more comfortable at the bottom of your squat, and it will just naturally stretch everything that needs to be stretched for you to be comfortable squatting. The squat is one of the 3 most important exercises you can do, along with the deadlift and the bench.
Big three.
The big three, as they say. Yeah. So it's really important to work on that. A lot of people don't like to do it. So work on your flexibility, and maybe it won't be as painful. That's all I got.
All right. I guess we got a possible another podcast tonight. Maybe we'll put that up. Maybe not. We might save that one for the archives.
It might be horrible.
Yeah.
Horribly offensive.
But we got some more podcasts coming in the future, of course.
Yeah. Follow us on Twitter,
Instagram.
You can find us on SoundCloud.
Yeah. SoundCloud, YouTube.
Why haven't you subscribed to our YouTube channel yet?
But we'll post those links in the video. Yeah.
Till then, God bless America.
Thanks for listening.